Level Up with Shay. We are here with Eric Harris. He is the varsity football coach at Thomas Jefferson High School and also an author, a father, mentor, mental health counselor, provider, supervisor, server, and all of the things. Now that you are watching me and you're watching him, you've watched our videos, please hit the subscribe button. It helps us out. We're on our way, but we need you to help us get there. So we're going to have a conversation with him today and just take it back a little bit and then bring it forward also. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Eric Harris, he is the head varsity football coach at Thomas Jefferson High School, home of the Teejay Vikings.
That's right.
Perhaps his shirt there says Teejay Vikings. So with that being said, you're now in your second year as head coach, but over 20 years of coaching. What is the one, I know you got 20, the one thing that you've noticed difference as a head coach than an assistant or JV coach? The biggest thing that you've noticed, the biggest change?
Oh, that's easy. It's the overall behind the scenes things that go on, the budgeting, the managing, the coming to you and, how much money do we got for helmets? And okay, well, I'm trying to get these shoulder pads, the fundraising, by far, if people really knew and understood what high school coaches did on all, not just football, but football is the biggest sport. But what we do is far and beyond to just come out there and coach and stand on the sideline on Fridays. I would say, seriously, I spend more time doing that than actual football coaching because football is a season. You're doing this stuff year round. That would be the number one thing there.
So the management, we just say management overall, the program is like the number one thing that you would say is the biggest thing.
The overall management of the program and making sure that you're steered in the right direction. When I first came to TJ, my number one goal was we're an inner city school, but when we go places, we're not going to look inner city. So our guys look good. And from day one, my coaches are dressed on the sidelines. I make sure that we are matching. I make sure. So all of that stuff requires funding. So it takes a lot of stuff for us to be able to do that.
And for those that are watching and don't know this, high school football is not 4 months, which is August till December, or 5 months, as people might say, it's 5 months, because you start in August. But when you all finish in December, if you make it to playoffs, or states for that matter, you take about a month off, January maybe, or a couple weeks off. You come right back in February.
That's right.
So technically, you were going 11 months of football. It may not be as intense with the everyday, but it's at least 2 or 3 days a week with the conditioning. Then the 7-on-7 starts. Then the camp start. Then all those things start. So you are constantly going. So students need to understand that they're going to play a high school sport in general, but let alone football. Parents, we need you to know that your child is going to be engaged for 11 months of the high school year if that coach wants them to. So please be mindful of that. Okay, so as we progress, there are 3 things in that management process that also goes into you coaching. And I want you to tell me what has been the biggest change. Has it been staffing and team, parents, or other?
Staffing and team are up there, but parents would be number one. And I've been coaching long enough that I have seen the growth and the changes. If you're doing this long enough, that 4 to 5 year cycle is real. Like kids change, and so do the parents, so do their expectations.
Absolutely.
I've been coaching for 26 years, and I literally, for the first time in my life, was cussed out by a parent like 2 years ago. Cursed out, ripped into in my entire coaching career. I've never had a parent do that. The expectations are so much higher.
Right.
And it's crazy because a lot of the work ethic and things that you saw from the younger, when I first started coaching from those guys were hungry.
Right.
From these guys. And it's not a fault of theirs. They have different things. They got social media, they got video games, they got things that deter them and detract them from this. But I think we've done a great job since then, and including our parents and what it is that we want for our young men and how to go about it. Last year we had the meeting where we brought, you facilitated it. We had coaches, NCAA coach. We broke it down and let him talk to these parents and let them understand that this is the process to getting your kid recruited.
Right.
So it's been better, but the parents definitely.
And in 1 year of you coaching, we've gone from the NCAA clearinghouse, helping kids get into NILs. It's like a whole shift within a year. Not that it hasn't shifted in just 1 year, it has been coming. But as a high school program now in Virginia, students can now get monetized from schools in Virginia now, where there wasn't the case before.
Yeah.
So as we, or as you as coaches and your coaching staff, which is an awesome coaching staff, as you are trying to make sure these students are in that place, quote unquote, to go to college, parents have to understand also the level where their child is in high school too. And I think sometimes parents don't understand that level. They see their child, but they don't see the level that they really are. They see, I want him or her to be great, but what are they putting into it to be great?
Well, the reality is, let's just be honest, to every parent, I'm not going to say every parent, I'm going to say to a lot of parents, because parents like myself, parents like you who are athletes, I think we're really open to what our kids are, right?
Right, exactly where they are, like
exactly
level.
where they are, right? But to a lot of these parents, like I've had parents come to me, well, he's the best kid in the neighborhood when he's out there playing, and this, that, and the other. They don't know how to assess.
Right.
And when I give them terms like, okay, say for instance, your son plays wide receiver. Well, he needs to drop his hips when he's coming out of his breaks. He needs to get more fluid. He's stiff. He has stiff hips. They don't see stiff hips. They see their baby running. But me and every college coach that's recruiting them says his hips are stiff, right? So these are the type of things that they don't realize or understand. But they're getting better at listening to us. I guess that's because we've put so many kids in school in just the past 2 years we've been there.
And that leads me to the next thing. So in your coaching philosophy, helping kids go to college, be successful, but you want them to be young men. Because when the college is gone, you still got to work, you got to function, you may have a family, you may want to get married, you may want to own your own business, whatever it is, you still have to function. So in your philosophy of coaching, how would you describe it in 5 words? Not 5 sentences, 5 words.
Dedication, perseverance, loving, honesty, and and it's going to be tough. It's tough. Those are 5. Tough, dedication, perseverance, love, and honesty.
Okay. And when you put all of those together as a head coach in 2 years, season, which one of those 5 had you had to use the most? You've been doing it for 2 years now. Head coach, not coaching experience, but just as a head coach. Which one of those 5 would you say you've had to use the most?
The dedication.
Dedication.
The dedication. The dedication. It's been having to have our guys buy in and stay locked in to what it is that we want, what our goal is. And you got kids that are young men are gonna be young men.
Right.
You're gonna fall off, some are gonna do this, but me constantly getting these guys to buy into the dedication to this program, to the school, to the community, which has been great to us, right? We have people that are looking out for us and are looking forward and looking up to you guys, right? So we have to be continuously, and it showed in our off-season training. It showed during the summer workouts. And it's showing now, even now. We like when I first came to TJ, I was there for a year before I became the head coach. I was the offensive coordinator. I literally was getting there for summer workouts, and we averaged, Coach, 5 kids.
That would come?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And you got to imagine, I'm coming from Douglas Freeman. And it's fine. And listen, and at that time I'm coming in. I'm going to be the offensive coordinator and wide receiver coach, right? So these weren't just 5 wide receivers. I might get 1 wide receiver, 1 lineman, 1 fullback, 1 defensive lineman. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Like our kids, it was bad. And thank God I had been there before, so it didn't run me off. Because coming from Douglas Freeman, I'd have been like, oh no, because we were averaging 100 kids at preseason workout. But we gradually build. And we're like, as to now, you talking about a 2A school, we're averaging 40 kids a day. And that's with kids doing track, and that's with kids doing others, baseball. So that's really good.
So when individuals and parents, I must not call a parent an individual because parents are individuals too, but when parents over the summer, they want to take their kids here, there, and everywhere, I know the level of intensity that it creates because most of the programs have the kids in the summer. So parents, when you take your kids away in the summer, 3-4 weeks at a time, or you make excuses why they can't come, you're hurting the program that they're trying to build. And then the parents want the kid to start and play, but he or she hasn't been there for all the pre-things that are now. Pre-workouts are not mandatory, but to get better, you have to be at those, because when the season starts, you're rolling so fast.
Well, they're not mandatory, but they're highly suggested. If you're not playing a spring sport, then what are you doing?
What are you doing? Right.
What are you doing? You know, and like you said, by it not being mandatory, we understand, hey, coach, I got a job and I'm gonna work a couple of days a week. That's great, as long as you're showing up some. But yeah, it's not, because then you also forget, coach, we got the 2 mandatory dead periods. So we get a dead period in February, then our dead period at the end of June to throughout the first week of July. So if you go right now to our team Snap, our entire summer is up. The whole schedule for the summer, up until the first day of practice. Our cookouts, our 707s, where we're going, the dead period. So I always tell my parents, listen, I suggest you utilize this dead period
as your time. Right. Because growth happens when you step out. Growth also happens when you realize a change is needed. Growth can also happen when you change an environment. So let 365 Mentoring and Coaching help you do that. We help with resume writing, resume enhancements, but also building your resume to help you stand out without standing in the crowd. We also help you with interview skills and also prepping for the interview that you may need. We know that a lot of times the interviews now are probably on the phone or they're virtual, but you still need to stand out even though they may not see you sitting with them personally. So 365 Mentoring and Coaching can help you do that. We're on that hunt to help you raise your level and rise up. So check us out. Check out our website for more information. You know, they say, oh, teachers get out for the summer. They shouldn't, complain. But it's so much going on in that amount of time that you're dealing with. So as you deal with all of the things that you're dealing with coaching, how do you find the time to maintain your own mental and physical space?
Listen, football coaching is going to take a toll on all aspects of your life. It's going to take a toll on your life personally. It's going to take a toll on your life physically, and it will definitely affect your mental health if you're not in a position to recognize and understand what is going on. As you know, we just lost a member of our coaching staff and a good friend of mine for 30 years. Perfect health. Never smoked, never drank. Went to the gym every day. Was actually at the gym, finished working out and was playing basketball and had a heart attack. But he and I being friends for 30 years, we had conversations about other things that he was dealing. So I'm like, stress is a killer as well. So you have to be able to carve out some time. And I do that. I make sure that, and it's crazy. For me, it may be something as simple as me doing my yard. You know what I mean? Like, I really enjoy getting out there. Oh, I need to go get mulch. I need to do this, cut my grass and doing things like that. I have a really close, tight circle group of friends who, we'll get together, you know what I'm saying, and we'll do some things. Going home in June to Detroit to see my grandma, my nephew graduate. You have to be able to find some time to do these things because it is imperative because, like you said, we're going, 11 months out the year.
Yeah, so... Anybody who's in any space of coaching, for one, it is hard because you're navigating. Some people are navigating family, some people are not. Some people are navigating kids, some people are not. But whatever you're navigating, it still takes away your time from what you are doing. Now, as you are being a father, as you are being a coach, and you're a business owner, and you're an author here, how do you find the time to get to the business aspect and then write the book that you have? So tell us about what your business is.
We are Next Level Mentoring and Family Services, and also Leaders for Life Mental Health Agency. So we provide mental health skill building for adults who face mental health issues, in-home counseling for young adolescents who are facing at risk, and the mentoring program is a step down. from that. So when we get young men, my focus is young men. So when we get young men that finish that, they step down into the mentoring, and they're placed with a therapeutic mentor who continues the skills that they learned while they were in therapy. With the next level mentoring, the beautiful thing about that is we have several different programs. My favorite program is the program that I built and established. It's the Restorative Justice Program, where a lot of people don't know about this, but I'm gonna say this, some people really need to pay attention, because what will happen is I was finding a lot of young men and young ladies who are getting criminal records far too early, right? So me knowing and having worked in the criminal justice system for so long, I understand that a lot of these judges, if given the option or opportunity not to give a conviction to this young person, would rather take it under advisement and have them do things. So with my restorative justice program, we go before the court. We ask the court to take it under advisement, maybe 6 months or a year. That young person then comes in, they go through therapy, they do a mandatory 30 hours of community service. It may be adjusted based on that. Now, we don't do, I'm going to say, violent felonies. Okay. All right. So we don't do violent felonies. But even if it's a felony, if it's a young person and they have no criminal record, this young person is in school, they're trying, what we'll do is we'll go in and right now we're batting, like in the whole program, I've only had one young man that has went back and reoffended. Everybody else has taken that opportunity and run with it. But as far as my time for it, it's a lot of long nights, a lot of, as you know, I just got a new office like like 5 blocks down the street from TJ, because I'm there so much. So these are things that you do, you know what I mean? So like
so you're maneuvering.
Yeah. So like boom, we can run here now, like go all the way downtown and do X, Y, and Z. Yeah. And it's hard, it's difficult. So and then when something like that happens to Duncan, I'm like, okay, I really gotta utilize my time and my management really well. I do have good people in place to help me, in those aspects. But and even with the coaching, with Coach Hagan and Coach Banks and the rest of my coaches. But those two guys are the rocks and stalwarts that help me keep that afloat as well. So.
And in coaching, every coach. Well, each coach that you have a position in what they do, what they coach. It may be management. It could be like Coach Banks in recruiting. Coach Hagan is like your right-hand person. And then you have your wide receivers coach. You got the alignment, all those things. So those things coming together also helps you. It should help take some things off of you as well.
Yeah, it does. Because at the end of the day, for instance, our off-season workouts, right? In all reality, I should be there. I should, be pulling up, and checking in and getting reports. But one of my coaches should be doing it. Well, this year, we do have coaches, Coach Carlos, Coach Tim. Like, I'm not in the weight room. I'm in the weight room because I want to go down there and be in there, but I'm not running it. And like last year, I was running the program.
So this year, as a second-year coach, you've seen some things that you needed to change and maneuver and get them more involved in. Yeah. And being able to have a staff or some coaches who are able to take that time. Because realistically, if you have a job, coaching doesn't pay you enough to live off of. No. So by those guys having other jobs, they're able to maneuver their jobs to be able to help you. So that's been beneficial to you, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, my supervisor, my AD, made it a point to let me know that I need to delegate more.
Delegate.
So I made a concerted effort to make sure that that's what I did going to this. And the guys have been great. They've been working around, like you said, moving their schedule and making sure, like right now, we got 4 or 5 kids that are on a junior day visit at ECU. Coach Banks and Coach Mello and a couple other coaches helped take those guys down there. So they're really picked up the ball and been doing better.
All right, so we're going to wrap up with one of the most important things, probably one of the top tier things that you finished in your life. Boom, you put a nail and a check on it because you probably took a little while to do this, I'm assuming. So getting this to page here, what did that mean to you?
That probably is one of the best accomplishments of my life, but it's so crazy because, I was really forced and pressed to finish that. And by God, it was you got to get that done, right? And when I finished, I've been doing it over the years, but when I finished it, I was like, oh, I got 9 chapters, right? And I was like, well, it's an uneven number or whatever, but I'll put it out. So it's funny that you brought that up. I haven't told anybody because I've become really kind of reluctant to share a whole lot with people outside of my circle. But this just got this. So I am about to release that in my voice. I was contacted and by a publisher that wants to put it out in my voice. And I'm going to do a chapter 10, and the chapter 10 is going to focus on the winning seasons at TJ and the things like that's kind of helpful to the coaches. So it's going to be absolutely, and it's going to be republished and put out. But it meant a lot. I mean, and the fact that so many people have reached out to me about that book and talked to me about that book and what it did for them, and it gave people a better understanding of, Crazy E when I was in college to understand what it is. Mental health is real. It's real.
Okay. So as we were talking about mental health and it being real, you can get this book on Amazon. So now he is ready for his interview debut as well as a speaking engagement. Mm-hmm. He has a publicist who can help with that.
And you can get it you can order it, actually, you can hit my people here or me.
Website.
Oh, yeah.
Website, they can go and get this book. That's a great idea.
Yeah, you can go to the website. Yeah, that's why I would rather you get it, because Amazon's royalties are crazy. www.
Look at them.
www.nlmfs.com. Next level.
It's a tongue twister.
Next level mentoring family service. You got me messed up on my old stuff. Please edit this, bro. nlmfs.com.
So you can get the book. The link is actually going to be
on the book,
in here as well on this video, so you can actually get it from the video that we're going to show you as well. Mm-hmm. But it is, the games have brought me riches, from trauma to triumph. So this does talk about his life from the beginning, I guess being little up until now as an adult. But also, if you're looking for a speaker on mental health and trauma, he's your person. You go to his website to get that as well, just so you know. And then we want to just finish up with what you have on your shirt, which is TJ. If they want to donate to that, how can they do it? Because people think that because you raise $5,000 or $10,000, you got a lot of money. That's not a lot of money.
Yeah, that's going in one order. That's going in shorts and shirts for the boys. That's going literally. But right now you can go to TJ Viking Fund, and you would please make sure you earmark your donation for football. Go to tjvikingfund.org. It's .org, right? .org, yes. And earmark it for football, and any funds that were generated will go towards us. Also, final thing, when you get your book from the website, it's autographed. It comes from me. I'll sign it, send it out personally, and I'll even put your name on there to whoever.
So make sure you put that in the comments. So we can get a book to help support. We can also support TJ football with TJ Viking Fund. They're also going to have a program where you can also be a sponsor, various types of sponsors as well, because all money helps. No donation is too small, but we want to make sure that the young men are taken care of. So thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it. And what is a way that they can actually communicate and contact you? You want them to go to IG? You want them to website?
Yeah, you can go to
spot or what? What you think?
Yeah, you can go to IG. That's just the best. It's Coach E 804 Breed. That's
Coach
it.
E 804
Breed. BREED.
BREED. Y'all got that? Okay, so thank you so much, Coach Harris, for joining us. Level Up Podcast with Shea, SHEA. Get it right.